Poketrainers, it's Poke time. This is What's Your Favorite Pokemon? And then I say something nice about you. Obviously, that stands for Whiffapatasane, a podcast where we all get to think about Pokemon for a little while and nothing else. I cannot believe I get to do this again. This is so nice.
Whiffapatasane.
It's Whiffapatasane.
That's incredible. That's absolutely
I'm
incredible.
Eric Yeah, I know. I am Eric Silvers, and I like my candies medium, not rare. The bloody taste is just not for me. I really need to make sure it's cooked through.
Okay.
That's just my personal thing. And I am here with our first guest of the rebooted Whiffapatasane, Jasper Cartwright. Welcome to What's Your Favorite Pokemon? And then I say something nice about it.
Hello! I'm very excited to be here. Very excited to just talk about nothing but Pokemon, because I love them.
Pokemon only. Yeah, definitely nothing else. No feelings. Nothing about that stuff. Just Pokemon. Don't worry about it.
Boo feelings.
Wonderful. Jasper, I'm so happy to be here again. The fact that we do these podcasts together is just an excuse for me to talk to you.
Yep.
And to schedule stuff with
Hanging out.
You know, if you don't have it on a Google Calendar, does it even exist when you're an adult? Probably not.
No.
But luckily, instead of worrying about that stuff, we're going to go on someone else's computer and worry about that in Pokemon.
Yeah.
On their PC.
Perfect.
All right, so Jasper, since we're only here to talk about Pokemon, I want to know about your relationship to the Pocket Monster video game.
Yeah.
How have you come to understand and love the wonderful game about monsters fighting throughout your life?
Okay, so it starts off when I was quite young, and my mum said that I could get a Game Boy as soon as I passed my reading exams. Basically, she said, there's basically no point you getting this game until you learn to read, because there's no thingy in it, and it was just there's no dialogue in it.
So good about video games. All the stories you've shared.
Honestly, mum knows about video games. So she was just like, look, if you learn to read properly and well, I'll buy you a Game Boy. And I want to say it was a Game Boy Advance, the one that kind of looks probably actually more like a Switch, honestly. It's like a Switch or a PSP if you ever saw those ones. And I remember it was we were going on my school holiday, summer holidays, and it was the end of term, and I just passed my reading thing. I was like, Mom, I passed. And she was like, oh, we're going on holiday next week. There's no point you getting it now. And I was like, what? But I could play on holiday. And she was just like, no. And then we got to the airport, and she whacks out the Game Boy Advance. And from that moment on, my life was not the same. Of course she did. Absolutely. She was like, I want to relax on this holiday. I could just give you this thing and I won't see you for a week. Beautiful. She was excited.
I like this too, because it's going on vacation. The best. You, tiny Jasper, was like, no, this is the best time for me to play Pokemon. And your mom's like, no, that's stupid. You're going to enjoy time with your family. No. But obviously your mom then slides you a GBA.
Yeah. She was immediately like, yeah, here you go. And I think before that, I might have even been watching I'd been watching some of the cartoons and stuff. So I knew of the world. I knew of some of the lore and history and stuff. And then I got just obsessed with the Pokemon movie with my boy Lugia in it. And the Mewtwo. I loved that movie. I had it on VHS and I watched it religiously for probably 3 years of my life. I just watched it probably every single night, to the point where I'd every single combat, I'd know what move they were about to do. And it was yeah. And I think that was the very start of my Pokemon journey. And then probably all the way up to, oh man, when did I get off the Pokemon wagon? Ruby and Sapphire, I want to say, might have been the last ones I'd played religiously. Sure. And then mostly just through being a stupid adult and taking myself too seriously. I always talk about this, so apologies if you listen to any of my other podcasts. I always talk about how there's just a period in my life where I basically just took 5 years off being myself and just tried to be a cool adult and stuff, and just didn't do video games and stuff. And I don't know what I was doing. It was very dumb. But anyway, as soon as that was over, I now have a Switch and played Sword and Shield. And I discovered something today which is kind of linked to my favorite Pokemon, which means I have to buy is it Arceus? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Arceus. Yeah.
Arceus. I have to now buy Arceus, and it's linked to my favorite Pokemon. Can't wait to tell you about this. It's a big revelation I had today, so I'm like, okay, right, I haven't bought this game yet, but I'm probably going to buy it now for Christmas. And yeah, like honestly, rediscovering it, Jade, my fiance, played it, like got way further than I did. Like she was like steamrolling. I was like, hey, can I play the game? She was like, no. I was like, okay. And I was just like, it is magic in a bottle, man. Like Pokemon is magic. It is like, it's like one of them things where you look at it and you just go like, whoever kind of put their hand up in a board meeting and said, what about pocket monsters? They deserve to be where Elon Musk is right now. They deserve to be the richest person in the world because they just created pure magic for so many people. Like, do you know what I mean? Just like so many people around the world, they just made something that just worked. Like fundamentally, it is the same thing like over and over again. And it is just incredible. It's just my little dudes and we out going on an adventure together. And it is incredible.
Yeah. There's something about like, I also want to ask you about Sword and Shield. How did you feel about the UK being in a Pokemon game? Like pretty explicitly, I know that they did the United States like ostensibly in black and white, but like Unova really wasn't the United States. It was kind of just like, here's a city and there's and now Garbodor exists because there's trash here.
Is Sword and Shield in the UK?
Yeah, dude. Did you not know that?
No, I mean, I was like, some of the buildings, I was like, oh, this kind of looks cool, like kind of oldie-timey.
Yeah.
Like, that's the vibe.
Yeah, they turned the UK on its head, and you start at the top, and you start at the bottom, but then you go to the top instead of the other way around.
Wait a second, let me look at a map here.
Oh my God. I will send you the Spirits episode that exists about all of the, like, Arthurian legend and UK stuff. I mean, I guess
like Sword and Shield. Oh God, yeah! Look at the map.
Yeah,
that's incredible. I had no idea. That is incredible.
Jasper, there's a ghost in a teacup and in a teapot. What did you expect?
Eric, these things are just normal for me. I'm used to seeing these things every day of my life because I live in the magical land known as England. Like, I see ghosts in teacups every day. I didn't bat an eyelid at this thing, okay? Yeah. No, I definitely know it was, like, a very different vibe. But, like, yeah, I didn't pick up on that it was the UK at all.
That's fine. I'm so glad we got that revelation on tape.
I'm going to go back. I'm going to smash through that game again tonight. Like, I'm excited.
You're going to go in there, and Jade, you're going to leave this recording, and you're going to say this to Jade, and Jade's going to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, yes,
no, I can promise you, I'll promise you right now, $5 American that Jade has not a clue that this game was set in the UK as well. 100%.
I don't know. It was a big part. It was a big part of the marketing.
I will message you immediately after this, and I guarantee you, like, Jade's less in the video game sphere than I am.
Sure.
Like, there's no way that she knew.
Okay.
But also, again, Sword and Shield, we did get, like, again, very late. I missed a lot of the hubbub about it. I was just like, my mum was like, what do you want for Christmas? I was like, I want a Switch and probably get me a Pokemon game. And this is what arrived. And I was like, sweet, let's do it.
That was what was out, yeah.
That was what it was.
All right, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, since a lot of people are recording in their offices, I want to know, do you have any Pokemon memorabilia within arm's reach of you right now?
Oh my gosh, do I? No, I do have stuff. Okay, so on the other side of this wall, I know that I have my Pokemon cards. I have like tins and tins of Pokemon cards, like right through this wall. And I've got a plushies. I got a plushie somewhere, but they're not actually in my office.
That's pretty close.
To be fair, my office is still in like a state of flux. Like, there's like a bed here that like lives in another room and shouldn't be there. So you know what I mean? We're not at like the finished article yet when it comes to the office. There will definitely be some Pokemon stuff in and around here because
we'll do another episode of this and we'll check in with you.
Yeah. Check in with the progress because at the moment it's pitifully low on the Pokemon memorabilia. But
That's
I do
fine.
have my Pokemon cards are within like two arms length. I would say.
If you could phase through the wall,
if I could phase through one arm,
cards.
give me a ghost type powers. We're done. I've got them. They're in my hand.
Absolutely. All right, Jasper, now is the wonderful time. We are beginning the proper with Vitasane. Jasper, what is your favorite Pokemon?
Okay, so as I was saying before, I went through the gambit of starting Pokemon very specifically because I have too many boys that I loved that were like right at the top of the list. And I was like, oh, I really want to pick them. But the reason I couldn't was just like, look, none of these boys have been my starting Pokemon. And my starting Pokemon have a special place in my heart, so I've got to go with the starting Pokemon. And so I have decided to go for the OG, my little fire mouse, Cyndaquil.
Cyndaquil.
Cyndaquil! I love Cyndaquil so much. I used to like have like a hamsters and mice and stuff like this when I was younger. It's just a little fiery mouse, and I love it. It's just so freaking adorable. And I remember just being so utterly obsessed with it. It was like, it wasn't as mainstream as Charmander, because everyone liked Charmander. I was like, okay, cool, sure, fine. I mean, obviously, Charmander turns into a freaking dragon. Like, why are you not gonna? Do you know what I mean? Did also fundamentally start me on a path of like mistrusting people as well, though, because like anyone who out of the 3-star Pokemon said that they liked Bulbasaur, it's just like, who? I don't know if I trust you as a person. I know you're a Bulbasaur. I can tell.
Jasper.
You're 100% Bulbasaur.
Yeah, but I'm a Bulbasaur.
Yeah, 100% you're a Bulbasaur. 100%. I knew.
Because he can use his little vines to pick things up.
You have to admit, though, compared to the other two, like, he sucks.
No.
Like, you have to admit.
Squirtle is too...
You have to be real.
Squirtle is really fucking basic. I think Squirtle is a basic choice.
How dare you? Have you seen Blastoise?
We're not talking about Blastoise. We're not talking about Blastoise. We're talking about the original 3.
Okay. I'll admit, the original 3... Squirtle is a dum-dum. Squirtle is a big big dumbass. Like, he's just out here rolling around getting hit by stuff, and probably just has like a decent defense. Yeah,
exactly. Okay, we've already touched on this a little bit, and we're going to put the Bulbasaur hate over to the side, but...
I'll bring it back.
Can you describe Cyndaquil as best as you can, because this is an audio medium?
Of course. Okay, so Cyndaquil, imagine a little mouse that stands up on its hind legs, and has like, almost like, imagine a mouse somehow with T-Rex arms. Like, it has smaller arms than it should on a mouse. Like, it's so ridiculous. And it's like, its body is like pretty much perfectly divided in half from its like tip of its nose down to like the bottom of its tail, and the top of it is kind of like this like turquoisey kind of green. It's like a bluey green, and then out of its back, it just has straight up flames. Like, there's just a hole in it, like a big hole, not like a little hole, like a big hole in its back, and fire comes out of it all the time, and not in like a little way, like just like just constant, like a jetpack of fire just coming out of its back the whole time. It's got quite like a long, kind of slightly drooped snout, and it has little closed eyes. Its eyes are like always like, ooh, like doing a little cute face, like, ooh. That's the noise I would imagine that if it didn't say its own name, it would make that noise.
Cyndaquil's so cute. I know. I think that's fair. I think you nailed it.
So cute. So Cyndaquil is freaking adorable, and it's got little toes. It's got little tiny little like toenails. Like, it's so cute.
First Pokemon with cute toes. That was what we needed in Gen 2. I think we're touching on this a little bit as well, but when did you decide that Cyndaquil was your favorite?
Okay, this is really interesting. This is also part of the reason I think why Cyndaquil is my favorite, because I played through this game, this particular one. It would have been, is this Soul Silver? Yes, this is Crystal, Soul Silver, and Heart Gold. I played through this game multiple times and picked each one of the starting Pokemon. And actually loved all of them. Like, for me, might be the strongest roster of starting Pokemon in terms of like from base like evolutions all the way through to like final evolutions. I think all of them slap pretty hard. Like Totodile, like turning into Feraligatr is badass. Like Feraligatr is no joke. Just like this big wrestling alligator that blasts water. Like, hell yeah, it's so cool. So I played through all of them and like genuinely really enjoyed playing through all of them, but there was something about Cyndaquil just being so like adorable and then turning into just this complete badass with a fire, like with a mane made of fire in Typhlosion. I was just like, what a glow up. What a complete glow up. Like, from just this most adorable little thing. Like, you always knew Charmander had like a mean streak. Cyndaquil does not look like it has a mean streak at all. And then it turned into Typhlosion. It's great.
when I was doing research for this, I was looking at photos of Cyndaquil and Typhlosion, and it really does feel like the first time that a starting Pokemon turned into an adult version of itself. Like it's just like a big version. The thing that maybe that like if Pokemon were animals, this is just like an adult version.
This actually matches.
Yeah, it actually matches. Like even the other ones. I mean, let's not. Gen 1 was literally like small cute thing turns into ferocious monster.
Yeah,
because Blastoise is a literal tank.
Yeah,
and like and Charizard's a literal dragon. And Venusaur is like literally one of those turtles with the fucking earth on its back.
Yeah, for sure. And also as well, add in, we've got Quilava in the middle of this, who is the perfect epitome of teenage Cyndaquil. Yeah. Like, it's got a little, like, fiery mohawk, it's got fire in its tail, it kind of looks constantly pissed off, just like, it's just kind of like, everything's kind of annoying, and his arms are kind of like drooped down in front of him, like his shoulders are slumped, and he's just like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, it's so perfect.
Yeah. Typhlosion also has the full belly.
Yeah.
Like, you know the difference between looking at like a bear cub and a bear of mother?
Yeah.
Is like, it is ferocious, but I still want to rub you on the belly a lot. And that's how I feel. That's how I feel about Typhlosion.
Yeah. It's got like there's like still that like warmth there. You know what I mean? But it's like that warmth, literally like in the way that you would like with a bear. It's like, oh, it's warm, and if I was your cub, I'd feel hella safe, but I'm not, so therefore I'm terrified right now.
Yes.
Because you're huge and scary.
Yeah. Hey, Jasper, do you want to know about what inspired Cyndaquil?
Oh my god, please.
So, Cyndaquil's appearance, this is all from Bulbapedia. Cyndaquil's appearance is based on the echidna, just like Knuckles.
Okay.
Knuckles is an echidna.
Yeah.
But he does not punch. Cyndaquil is just a sweet little boy with fire.
Oh, yeah.
But it also has traits of shrews, anteaters, and Tenrex, which is this long snout and having little to no tail. So that's like the little snout you've been talking about. So the name Cyndaquil is a combination of cinder, which is ashes, and quill, which is like on a porcupine. Cyndaquil, pretty straightforward. Its Japanese name is Hino Arashi, which is a combination of he, which is fire, Yama Arashi, which means porcupine. There's also a phrase in Japanese, which is Hino Arashi, which means storm of fire. So that's pretty cool, too.
Oh, that's so dope.
Yeah. The wonderful thing about Pokemon is you remember that no matter what language it's in, someone is punning in their language.
Yep.
Not just in English.
Someone's doing the work. Like, in their own language, someone is doing the work. I love it.
No. All right, let's go to the fun fact then, and I want to hear about your fun fact about honey badgers.
The fact was that how adorable they are, and the fact that they have their eyes closed, which I think is a reference to honey badgers, and the fact that honey badgers babies have their eyes closed. Like, it takes them ages to open their eyes.
Oh.
But just like from that, though, the reason I'm obsessed with honey badgers is because they are like nature's biggest badass, and I love them so much. And honestly, genuinely, I think there is no better animal in the world that would be a Pokemon than a honey badger. Like, if you had a honey badger on your side, that honey badger has moves, like multiple moves, like escape anything, eat anything, get stung by anything. Like, they are just so battle hardened, these things. Like, they go around killing rattlesnakes because rattlesnake poison just straight up doesn't affect them. They are so intelligent that they have to be kept in like the most insane enclosures because they work together to like escape. They'll like climb on each other's shoulders and undo bolts and stuff. They'll lie down and pretend to be dead. They'll surreptitiously build a mound in the corner and climb out of stuff. Like, they're so freaking clever and dangerous and just like wild. And I'm kind of like, I kind of feel like if there was a real life animal that was like going to be a cutesy little thing that you'd throw out and be like, get him, probably have a honey badger.
I've never seen a photo of a honey badger pup, but I'm looking at one right now. on Wikipedia, and it's fucking adorable.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to really see the resemblance here. I was concerned that maybe they burned the honey badger on Cyndaquil. I feel like you can do so much more with it that's a little more explicit for Pokemon, but like I get this. I totally see the through line more so than Porcupine, which is what I always thought because it was Cyndaquil.
Especially with the coloration, right? The way like on its head it kind of has like the different coloration. It goes down the back and everything. Like, but they are so cool, honey badgers. Like, if anyone doesn't know about honey badgers, go do yourself a favor. Get yourself just like any documentary that covers honey badgers. They are so epic.
I think that have we been burned down on honey badgers because of Honey Badger Don't Care, the very old YouTube honey badger is always like already mimetic, and maybe like we don't care about them. But I recently I saw a video on Reddit that was like 2 honey badgers fighting 10 lions, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense, sure.
They just want like they're just out here. They don't give a crap. They just do what they want, and it is incredible.
I love it.
Like, absolutely incredible.
I'm also seeing on the Wikipedia page that in India, honey badgers are said to dig up human corpses. That's a terrible sentence, isn't it?
They really don't give a fuck. Like, honey badgers know as well. Do you know what I mean? I feel like honey badgers would be like, haha, this is sacred to you and somehow. Can't put my finger on why, but I'm gonna dig it up just cause.
I'm gonna ruin it.
You're like, I'm gonna ruin your day. I'm gonna make you put this back in the ground. Like, it's it's kind of wild. This is also very cute that Cyndaquil, the flames grow more powerful as it becomes angry or defensive. It can actually put the flames away. They turn into little red dots on its back. I don't know what happens to the flesh in between the red dots whilst the fire is erupting, because when you see, like, it's the whole back. It's the whole of its back. And it says if it's tired, it's the flames do not burn properly. And that, I mean, just like, it's just sleepy. It's just sleepy. Just fire. Also, what a practical Pokemon to have.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to pay for heating. This is great. Perfect. Keep you in the corner.
It can go away. It can go away into the little weird holes on its back.
Yeah. Turn your holes into a huge mound of fire in my house. Nothing could go wrong. Nothing could go wrong. Just don't evolve because Typhlosion's too big for this house.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Jasper, can I tell you a fun fact about Cyndaquil?
Please.
So I would love to read you the text from the trophies from the Super Smash Bros. Series.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, you could, in Super Smash Bros. Melee, you could throw a Pokeball and Cyndaquil would show up. So it has been in the Super Smash Bros. Series for quite a while.
Incredible.
And then there's a trophy. There's like little like collectible things you can just get in Super Smash Bros. And all of that has like flavor text. So this is the flavor text for from Super Smash Bros. Melee. Cyndaquil frighten easily, so they're often found curled up in balls. When threatened, they flare the flames on their backs to drive off enemies. Cyndaquil was one of the 3 Pokemon that trainers could choose from at the beginning of Pokemon Silver, Gold, and Crystal. No one knows if their eyes are open.
What a bit of
I looked through every single Pokedex entry about Cyndaquil. None of them mentioned the eyes except for this one from Super Smash Bros.
This is like such a Nintendo thing to do. To like drop a piece of lore that has never been mentioned, like in a completely random tangential game with like no explanation whatsoever. Like, it's so wild to me that they do this consistently. I bet you there's Mario lore in Pokemon that we don't know about.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, there will be.
But Jasper, Nintendo continued to do a Nintendo thing, which is rewrite totally different copy for the Cyndaquil trophy for the next game, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Here is that one.
No.
It is a timid creature that often curls up into a ball. When threatened, it flares up flames on its back to scare off enemies. When it's angry, it can produce powerful flames, but when it's tired, it has trouble producing fire and suffers from incomplete combustion. Weird thing to write. I don't know why anyone would say that. When it levels up, it evolves into Quilava. And now, notice this final sentence. Its squinty eyes are adorable.
Its squinty eyes are adorable?
Did someone complain and say you can't drop lore about the eyes? You just need to say they're cute. Stop it.
Just need to say that they're cute. Wow. Its squinty eyes are adorable. Imagine the idea that it's like it doesn't open its eyes until it gets to Quilava, and then it's just like, ah!
I'm so mad all the time.
Just screams for a week, just being like, what is all of this?
Yeah.
Why, its squinty eyes are adorable. They are, it's true. Like, you can't deny it. They are really freaking adorable.
Just like writing the copy from scratch, even when they had something from the previous game, is so ridiculous to me. But of course,
wild.
What a Nintendo thing to do.
It's so wild. I love it so much.
Hey, it's Eric, and I just picked up some snacks for Games and Feelings. Who wants to try a flaming hot Mountain Dew? Yes, that's real. I didn't make it up. I promise. Please be sure to join the Patreon at patreon.com/gamesandfeelings. We're weekly now. We really need your support. I really appreciate all of you. I'm recording this early, so if you joined, I am going to read your name next time. Get on that train. Patreon.com/gamesandfeelings. And shout out to producer level patrons, Polly Burge and Kelsey Duffy, who can sell you a GameCube controller at a very reasonable price with free shipping. They have great reviews on eBay. I think you should check out the other shows that are part of the Multitude Collective. You'd really like Pale Blue Pod. It's an astronomy podcast for people overwhelmed by the universe and want to be its friend. Astrophysicist Dr. Moya McTeer and comedian Corinne Caputo demystify space one topic at a time with open eyes, open arms, and open mouths because they're laughing so much and their jaws are so dropped. By the end of each episode, the cosmos will feel a little less, too scary, and a lot more, pretty cool. New episodes of Pale Blue Pod come out every Monday, so check it out wherever you get your podcasts. We are sponsored today by the Shoujo Sundae podcast. Are you a fan of shoujo anime? Do you want to know more about Japanese animation that's focused on women? Do you wish you could find a podcast that gushed about your favorite shoujo moments in film and manga? Then you need to follow the Shoujo Sundae podcast. Hosted by magical girls Gianna Luna and Chica Supreme, Shoujo Sundae aims to review and reflect on shoujo properties that deserve more attention than what they currently receive. Listen and laugh as they use ice cream puns to talk about anime like Maid-sama, Kageki Shoujo, Fruits Basket, Blue Spring Ride, and so many more. Follow Shoujo Sundae on your preferred podcast platform and across social media. We cannot promise that you will turn into Sailor Moon, but we sure do hope so. And now, back to the games. I have another question for you.
Yeah, please.
If you and I'm laughing about this squinty eyes. If you and Cyndaquil lived in real life and were super good buddies, name one thing you would do together.
Oh, so many things. What would we do? Oh man, we wouldn't go to the forest because I don't want like Cyndaquil to be responsible for like the death of like a whole forest and all of its inhabitants.
Sure.
With the pure amount of flame that it produces from its back. I feel like we'd probably go shopping just because, like, I really feel like I could accessorize Quilava really nicely. Like getting some little, like cute little fiery booties, you know what I mean? Would just be just to match the back, tie it in. I think that would be super cute. Maybe give him some like Elton John style glasses as well, like some big like starry glasses for its cute little squinty eyes. I think that would be freaking adorable.
That's the move. I
think that's the move. And then honestly, I'm thinking we just gonna go camping like in a rocky area. Probably in like a mountain or something, and we're gonna like stare up at the stars in like a little alcove in a mountain, and Cyndaquil's gonna be my bonfire, and we're gonna make marshmallows off his back, and then maybe freeze to death if he gets too tired and can't make flame because I didn't bring anything else with me.
I can see you walking around North England with Cyndaquil like in a hoodie, like and just like keeping it there and you warming yourself and a little Cyndaquil face poking out.
Yeah. Just be like, oh, turn it down a little bit, buddy. Turn it down a little bit, buddy. I'm burning through my stomach.
Oh God,
because that could go wrong. Let's be honest.
It'd be worth it though. That's
wrong.
What a way to go out.
It would 100% be worth it. Can I flip this around on you real quick?
Please.
On a purely practical level. if you had to pick one of the types of starting Pokemon to be your best friend in real life, which one would you pick?
Yeah, I mean, it is fire. I usually go for fire types.
Sure.
I think the fire
But like on a
types
practical level, would you still pick fire?
Oh, on a practical
That's what
level?
I'm saying. Like, as in, you just have to live with this thing.
Oh, no, it would be grass, though, because it has the Vine Whip is like an opposable hand from what we've learned from the anime.
Yeah, I mean, water would be useful just like have a source of water, but whether I want to drink water from like my Pokemon, I don't know. That seems weird now.
Yeah, and like it would have to be big enough like to use surf. I feel like I would be concerned about like the amphibiousness in real life about water Pokemon. Like, do I need to make sure I can like fully submerge itself in water? Because I cannot do that in my apartment. Am I gonna have to move to the suburbs for my Squirtle? I don't know if I want to do that.
No. You just need to keep that bathtub refreshed and refilled.
But like if I have a Mudkip, do I need to go to a river so it can like roll around in
marshes. You need marshes, my dude. You need marshes.
Yeah. So I'd be concerned about that. So I would go with grass.
I think grass is definitely the most practical for sure.
Yeah, and also Amanda keeps all of the plants in our house so happy. She would do such a good job on the grass Pokemon.
Yeah, sure. Although I've got to say, Trico, I feel like would be a nightmare. Because Trico, I feel like would just be like punching like everything, just like knocking things over. I feel like Trico would just be, you'd be like, oh, please, just like get down off the ceiling. Just like calm down.
I don't want any of the snooty starters. There's always a snooty starter, and I never
Trico's
want
100% one of them. Yeah. Torchic would be terrible, by the way. Torchic's probably the worst. Like, Torchic 100% is just like... Because Torchic is the dum-dum of those three.
Yeah.
And has fire. It would be terrible. Like,
I just want the sweet one. All I want is the sweet one if I had these guys in real life. I would have to go thing by thing. I think that each of the starters are so different, like, temperamentally, or like what they're trying to do, that like it doesn't even necessarily have to do with the typing at all. Because like, again, what you just said, like, Charmander was so just like nothing going on in there, and then and then Cyndaquil is such a cutie, and then Torchic is immediately ruining your shit.
Oh, ruining your whole day.
Yeah,
like your whole day.
Tepig again then goes back to being a sweetie, like, you know, and Fuecoco, which is the new one, is also nothing going on in there. What a big fucking dummy.
God, Fuecoco is just like, what?
Yeah. And Scorbunny is also mischievous, so I would have to choose each one individually. Yeah.
Oh, Grookey is my jam.
Oh, I love Grookey.
Grookey is like Grookey fully was like the first grass type that I was like, oh, no questions here.
Just a monkey with a little guy with a little thing. I fucking love
and he just turns into a gorilla with drums. I was like, fuck yeah, my dude.
Yeah.
Let's do this. We're just Donkey Kong up in here now. This is great.
Yeah, I went to college with this guy. I fucking love this guy.
Exactly. He just plays drums everywhere. It was awesome.
Yeah. All right, Jasper, we are coming to the second half of What's Your Favorite Pokemon, and then I can say something nice about you. We did the first part where we heard about your favorite Pokemon, but now I have to say something nice about you.
Oh, okay. Okay, I wasn't ready for this bit.
Yeah, and no one is ever ready for this, even though it's explicitly in the title of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I thought I'd be ready by the time it got here, and I wasn't.
Liz, Jasper, I think you're incredibly talented. I think it's really nice to meet new people, you know, from the internet. You do it like in a relatively impersonal way. But, you know, I had a feeling that like we just kind of clicked immediately, and you're a really fun person to be around. And I'm so happy that I get to like, again, have an excuse to talk to you. Because you're just like, you're a vibrant guy. Everyone wants to be your friend. Everyone wants to talk to you and have you on their side, and like for you to contribute all that energy to like whatever they're doing. And I'm happy that I got the opportunity to do that. And now you're doing Games and Feeling stuff, and you know, I'm glad that I get to see you as much as we can. I want to take time, and like whenever you're in the United States, we'll figure it out. I'm going to go to the UK soon. I'm going to be on your turf. I want you to take me to northern England. It's going to be tight as hell.
Trust me. It's going to be amazing.
I want you to take me and give me a cheeky Nando's. That's all I want.
No, we're not doing that.
Okay,
we're absolutely not doing a cheeky Nando's. Like, it's the most basic shit that you're just going to be so disappointed. Like, there's just no version of you coming over here. You're just like, wait, what? This is it? I'm like, yep. It's a very standard food chain. Like, I don't know, I love chicken. I love Nando's. I will eat it. It's usually like the best, healthiest kind of option, healthy in quotation marks, that I can get my hands on. I'm like, okay, cool, I can go for Nando's. But like, Trust me, we'll treat you. It'll be good. It'll be good.
Okay, we don't have to get a cheeky Nando's, but no, I want to hang out with you in person. And again, like it's exactly, you've said this before, but it's like it's nice to record this so people can hear all the dumb shit that we say to each other, and it's nice.
Because it literally, truly, this is all we do.
Yeah.
Whenever we're talking together, it's just this. But no, huge thank you. It's very, very kind of you. My inner Englishman is dying and coughing and spluttering, unable to process any of these compliments because they're truly excruciating right now. But I just genuinely just think, it's so fortunate to get to do this with amazing people, and I'm just as big a fan as everyone else listening to this podcast of you and being like, oh man, I'm like on a regular thing with Eric Silver from JTP. Like I've listened to JTP for time. I listened to JTP long before I knew who the hell you were, or before we were friends, and I'm like, this is wild. Like I remember walking on my way to the gym, sat there listening and just being like, superheroes, this is amazing, I love this is so cool. And now I'm here doing this, it's great. So I'm just extremely pumped to be here, and and hey, look, if people want to be friends with me, that is fine. Please feel free to come be friends with me, because I like having friends.
I mean, well, I guess my question is like, my understanding of you is like when you came to the United States, and we've talked about this before, of the time that you came to New York City after coming from LA, and everyone wanted to drink you under the table. It's like there was a mandate to get you drunk. I don't know what it was, but it's like everyone was trying to be your friend.
But everyone got the mandate. Everyone saw it. Like everyone got the memo. No one missed it.
Did you, like, I don't know, how did that make you feel? Like, are you the kind of person that you thought that, like, everyone would want to be your friend? Like, or did it feel, like, overwhelming to you? What did that feel like to you?
No, yeah, it was super overwhelming, and it's super overwhelming, I think, like, every time. Within a professional context, I feel like, I always try to, like, go out of my way to make sure that, like, I'm very polite, and I'm like on time, and I do a good job, and all of these kind of things, because like I've always said to myself, like, look, I don't think I'm ever going to be the most talented dude at any of this stuff, but like if I can hard work and prove that I can do the thing, then maybe people will want to hire me because I'm like easy to work with. That was always like it's always been my MO, right?
No, I 100% agree with that.
But so like in that context, I'm like, I was kind of like, yeah, I think like I've made a good enough impression on people that they'll want to, like, they won't, like, I've come all the way up to America, they'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll go and grab like a half-hour lunch with you.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like that I was kind of anticipating. But then like to kind of get, here and have people, like, literally, I think I've told you this before, but like I landed in LA, I got to the digs, the place I was staying, the family that I was staying with, they weren't there. They're ironically back in England at the time, and I was just on my own. And I looked and found that they had already had Elden Ring. It like came out like 2 days before this, so
man.
I hadn't been able to play it yet. And I was like, oh, they've got Elden Ring, sweet. So I text Murph from NADPod, not the D&D podcast, and I was like, hey, I just landed in LA, no reason for you to know this, but I'm just texting you anyway because I'm here and it's cool. I was just excited, and he was like, sweet, what are you up to tonight? And I was like, oh, I've just got to my place, they've got Elden Ring, I'm buzzing, I'm gonna blitz through this. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna play some Elden Ring and then get a good night's sleep, wake up, tackle the day. And he was like, this is your first day in the US and you're going to sit on your own in a house and play Elden Ring? No! And so we ended up going out, Caldwell came out, and we ended up doing a quiz night at this random, the Roguelike Tavern in LA, shout out. And I've now been back twice since then on like one on an entirely separate trip that I just did a couple weeks ago. We went back to the same quiz night and did it again, and other people turned up. It was great. And it was just like, but that was quite overwhelming because I hadn't slept in like 24 hours by the time we'd got into the evening of that evening. But it was just like so wonderful to have these people, and then like you guys, as soon as I was in New York, you're like, need anything? You want anything? You want to come over? You want to hang out? You haven't had Korean barbecue? Let's get Korean barbecue. Like all of this stuff, it was just like so welcoming and lovely. And I don't know, like I felt like there was, I think, actually, I'll flip this around a little bit on you just to say, because I think it's really interesting how it's hard to get a beat right on certain relationships in your life when there is like some kind of power dynamic involved. Whether that's like even it doesn't even have to be hierarchical. It's just like you're more well known than I am, or you're more established than I am, or do you know what I mean? If there's any way in which like maybe someone could help you, it's super hard, I think, to actually get like a read on what is like real and what is not. And like, I always find it very, very hard to be like, hey, I just want to be your friend, by the way. Like, I know I keep like talking about like, we've spoken about like working together or doing stuff together, but like legitimately, I'm just having a great time, but I want to make sure that you know that. And then it kind of, you get into your head about it. It's weird. It's like, I find it a really hard thing to juggle. Have you ever had that?
Oh,
where you feel a bit like that?
But
or
I
even
also,
on the other way around, because, you had a podcast network. It's pretty impressive. Show me a multitude's amazing.
That's why I don't live in Los Angeles, because I feel like that's like, that is how people function in Los Angeles, is like everything is a social dynamic. Everything is something about trying to get yourself a little more famous. In New York, and maybe I feel this way because I also knew you weren't in LA because you were coming from the UK. And also, you don't even live in London. You live in I'm not going to dox you about what city you live in, but I think that there is something about that which I thought it was interesting. You don't even live in London, which people all kind of like assume is the only place people live. You know what I mean? But in New York, it feels to me as like people do shit, but it doesn't have necessarily their relationship to other people doesn't necessarily have anything to do with that thing that they do. Or like all I want all the time is someone who I can talk work stuff with, because like I feel like I have plenty of other people in my life, like my friends, but also like whoever else who I can talk about like whatever else with. So it's like, I definitely want more friends. Obviously, I'm not saying no new friends, I'm done. But I guess like in my New York mentality is like, we're all grinding. And I don't mean grinding in like the rise and grind way. Like, work is hard, living is hard, living in New York City is hard, but rewarding. So it's like, we're all just doing it together and we're all flowing. Yes. And I will offer you what I have and you will offer what you have, both as a guest and also when I go to your place, whether it's in a different part of the city or in a different country. So no, I feel that way when I go to Los Angeles. It makes my skin crawl. It really, I do not like it, and that shit stresses me out so much. How like if I say a joke that you don't like, you will, not even if you can, like you will ruin. I will miss an opportunity to do something that could be cool for me in the future. Yeah. I will caveat this by saying that everyone that I have met in the TTRPG scene in LA has been like wonderful people. Like, oh sure, I'm not talking about it. I'm not talking about them specifically. No. Oh yeah, I know for sure. I'm just merely saying that like because I have got that, and like it's the reason why. Obviously, I'm a professional actor. I've always dreamed of like going to LA and doing the LA thing, and maybe it will happen at some point. I'm working more and more kind of in America, so maybe there will come a day where I will forget myself and do an audition or go for a meeting with a manager or something. But like I have come across it in LA and I'm like, no, I don't like it. Because like I already overthink every single social interaction I ever have and will do for the rest of my life, because it's just like 90% of my personality is just to overthink every single social interaction I have. So like adding in a very clear social dynamic where it almost feels like I'm scoring points. That couldn't be worse for my anxieties. So that definitely is like my idea of hell. But whether I negotiate it someday, we will see. The chapter is not quite closed on that one, but but I also just genuinely have had such a wonderful experience getting to be around people from America who have been just so unbelievably open to this like random guy from the UK who's just absolutely trying to muscle in on their bag, but probably just doing it in like a sickly sweet way where everyone's like, I can't really be angry at this guy, like he's nice enough. Man, you deserve, I think that like every person deserves at least one moment, if they're not a terrible fucking person, but like every person deserves a moment where they feel like the belle of the ball. So I always wanted to touch on this because it's like you really truly had that experience, and I'm happy for you, and I'm glad that hopefully it gets to continue forward, and it's cool.
I'll be honest, it has.
Yeah,
it has. You know, I got to do Big Bad Con recently. Got to go back out to LA and see my friendos and do and record some fun stuff, which I haven't even released yet. So much cool stuff coming out. So it's still continuing. You know, I'm still searching for the other shoe, and then as soon as I get it on, I'm gonna be dazzling.
Hey man, there's no other shoe, I promise. No other shoe's gonna drop.
No
it's just one shoe, and then you're fine, and there's no consequence.
Yeah. I got it. I got the shoe. This is all I need. I'll hop around on this one crystal slipper.
That's good. That's not bad. Well, Jasper, you did it. You whiff a Patacinade. You made it to the end of the episode, and a bunch of people said nice things about you, and you didn't die.
I didn't die, which is really good for me. I did really, really well, and no fire came out of my back or anything. So I'm genuinely so thrilled.
I was wondering what those holes on your back did, but I guess it's not fire. I don't know.
Now we know. It's not fire. We'll find out on the next episode.
It's just uncomfortableness. That's what it is.
Yeah, I just have a medical issue. I need to go to the doctors now.
Yeah.
So.
I thought it was from cupping, but it's just these holes on your back.
No, it's just holes. It's just full holes.
It's just holes.
Sorry if anyone has that thing where they're scared of holes.
All right, Jasper, where can people find you on the internet?
Oh, you can find me at JW_Cartwright, and I'm currently definitely appearing on 2 podcasts.
Yeah.
One's called Games and Feelings.
That's this podcast. That's it.
That's this podcast. And the other one is called 3 Black Halflings. You can find us on socials at 3, that's the number 3 Black Halflings, or just wherever your pods are cast, wherever you're listening to this right now, you can type in 3 Black Halflings and you'll find us. We do a lot of fun stuff on there. We need to do more Pokemon content, honestly. That's, probably what we need to do, get the fans in. And yeah, generally I hang around on the internet. I do things like consultancy for creative projects. I do, you can hire me as a DM. We can do all kinds of stuff together. I'm generally just just open to projects as I enjoy working on cool stuff with cool people. So let me know.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, you can find me on the internet at L_Silvero. That's my name if I was a Lucha Libre wrestler. On Twitter, I guess if it's still there. Instagram, if it's still there. I'm on Tumblr. I'm not telling you my Tumblr. It's just for me. But I'm around. Yeah, just hit me up.
Find your Tumblr now.
Yeah, it barely exists. I just restarted it just for to give me the fucking content drip. It barely exists. Sure. Yeah, keep listening to Games and Feelings. Go subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/gamesandfeelings, where you get episodes of the replay, which is where Amanda and I talk about advice questions that were badly answered by advice columnists because they didn't know about games. And yeah, listen, I hope that you're all enjoying weekly Games and Feelings. I hope you're enjoying the rebooted Whiff of Patacinade. We're going to keep doing this. Another Whiff of Patacinade is coming next month, but there are plenty of episodes coming out weekly in between. Jasper's going to be on the next one because it's a Games and Feelings one. So you're just going to be back as permanent guest.
That's right.
So much
Get
Jasper.
Used to the voice.
And as we say every single month on Whiff of Patacinade, say nice things to your friends, and I choose you, friendship.
Yes! Say nice things to your friends.
Games and Feelings is produced by Eric Silver and edited and mixed by Mischa Stanton. The theme music is Return to French Toast Castle by Jeff Bryce, and the art was created by Jessica Boyd. Find transcripts for this episode and all episodes at our website, gamesandfeelings.com. Until next time, press X to enjoy the podcast.